What is going on? I'm Zedmod. Today is kind of a non-event day in Boom Beach. We are waiting for Season 22 to come, but Season 22 has been announced. It's going to be called Abilities. Now, here's where I ended up on Season 21. I ended up at rank 21. Here's my base. Nothing super extraordinary, but what I wanted to do today was talk about the abilities. Now, the temporary gunboat abilities have been a little bit stagnant. We haven't got a new temporary gunboat ability since like 2018 or something like that. My hopes and dreams and perfect dream scenario would be if they released a new temporary gunboat ability. I would put the chances of that at fairly slim, almost non-existent, but I still wouldn't slip it past them. I mean, chances of it actually happening and no one from the community noticing it being in the game files or something like that are incredibly, incredibly low, but it would be awesome. Now, if you're wondering what the heck I'm doing, why I have so many SCOOKAs, it's simply because we've got the SCOOKA Health Tribe, and this upcoming Mega Crab that is coming, the tribes are fairly crap, to be overly blunt and swear right in your face from the internets. The Mega Crab tribes are not good, which hopefully is going to put a lot of emphasis on the crab in order to be good. Sometimes the tribes are amazing, and other times the crab is amazing, and other times neither is amazing. So these tribes, we've got gold production, no one cares, medic healing, no one cares, SCOOKA health. It's useful for operation attacks because you can hit a mine or something like that, but overall, no one cares. And then critters spawned. Some people care. It's decent. Not overly amazing, though. So anyways, we're going to keep farming some intel for the task force, and I'm going to quickly talk about all of the different temporary gunboat abilities and their potentials for the Mega Crab. Now, some of these things are likely going to be absolutely useless. Here's looking at you, explosive drones. But others have a potential to be super awesome. Now, in times past, gunboat abilities have been judged on how good they are on operations or on PvP, and for the first time we're actually, hopefully, this is my assumption, going to see how these things do on the Mega Crab. Now, speaking of things that could be awesome, like the Resurrection Bomb, for example, operations not so useful, PvP not so useful, but when you're talking about getting a back corner engine room and you have to worry about flaring all the way across to get it, or you can use the Resurrection Bomb, suddenly the Resurrection Bomb doesn't look so terrible after all. So that's one of the things to keep an eye on for sure. That's going to be very interesting. Other things that are not going to be super duper interesting are, I can't even find them. Where did you go? Did I delete them? No, it's going to be these things. Like the sorry, that doesn't show up very well. Let's move my water so you can see it. The crystal critters are so useless, and I often come incredibly close to calling them the crystal clitters, which is neither here nor there, I suppose. But anyways, crystal critters, not something I'm excited about at all. But I'm a little bit concerned about specific combinations, and I've talked about this in past times, but the Cryobomb, if there are going to be any chance of there being Seekers, we can't have Cryobombs and Seekers. It would be just absolutely OP, overpowered, unstoppable. So I'm hoping that Supercell has thought of that, and the ability to slow down every single device and remove every single shock mine and mine combined with the Cryobomb, not a good combo at all. That would be incredibly dangerous and scary, and would cause people probably to riot, especially those people who don't have instant training, because instant training and Seekers sort of go hand in hand. Let's be completely honest. Now, we've got Kavan loaded here, so we can talk about the whole crystal shield thing. Crystal shields, fairly useful. They will work incredibly well with Seekers as well. A good way to keep your Seekers alive. And speaking of good ways to keep your things alive, that is why I'm adding some SCOOKAs in with Scorchers. I'm unboosted, so clearing the map is incredibly easy. but I don't have enough gunboat energy to drop all my Scorchers, so I'm mixing in some SCOOKAs just to see if they can manage to stay alive. See, hitting those mines, no big deal. This person clearly has low-level mines because my SCOOKAs are not even phased by that. So let me know in the comments which abilities you're excited about for the Mega Crab. Are you thinking that a combination of X and Y is going to be awesome? Are you looking forward to using the Tiny Shock, for example? And the Tiny Shock is going to make those individual prototypes, like a Hot Pot or whatever the heck you want to talk about, a little bit less useful, because the fact that you can shock it for 30 seconds and a lot of battles don't last for 30 seconds, I think that's going to put a bit more emphasis on the damage amplifier this season, potentially, because the damage amplifier affects a whole bunch of defenses instead of just one. I hope that makes sense. So I realize this video does not have a lot of substance. I don't have any sort of sneak peeks about what's actually going to be in Warship Season 22, but I'm really hoping that you guys can give me some insights on things to look out for in my sneak peek, for example, assuming I get to make one. No guarantees there, but for a Season 22 sneak peek, let me know what sort of things you think would be interesting and potentially viable, because honestly, when it comes to sneak peeks, it's basically just me throwing ideas against the wall, and because there's no one else to talk to and it's all super secret and all that sort of fun stuff, would love to get some preliminary info from all you out there on the internet as far as the combinations of troops and gunboat abilities that you think will be useful. And like I said, even that remote defib, it sucks on the main base because there's only one headquarters. Suddenly you throw in 5, 6 engine rooms and you've got a recipe for something interesting and neat to happen. I'm also very curious to see if we're going to get any of those prototype troops back. I know a lot of you had a lot of fun with things like the Shockeneers and all sorts of different troop combos and all that in Season 21, so I'm not going to rule out the fact they're going to have prototype troops in there. Maybe we're going to get a return of some Melaniers or something along those lines, but we don't have any of that information. So I keep dropping my critters and shocks in the absolute wrong spot, which is why we keep having problems. So next thing up, the Super Warriors. The fact that you can throw them all the way across the map and they can sit there and take shots. The problem with critters is that they die, and the Super Warriors not only slow defenses around them, but they also heal themselves. So Super Warriors have the potential to be far, far more useful than the critters are. So that's another option. Same sort of idea as the Resurrection Bomb. If you can just throw it for that far engine room, let it grind away that engine room. There's a lot of potential there for the Super Warriors. Maybe you have to throw 2 or 3 of them, but that kind of leads into the next question I have, which is, how many GBE nodes are there going to be this season? Like, we have the potential to be using all sorts of temporary gunboat abilities, and having temporary gunboat abilities absolutely define this season and change the season. But if we have 0 GBE nodes or something like that, then it's sort of all for naught. So do let me know how many GBE nodes you think are going to be in this season, and how many would be too many or not enough. Or, I mean, we honestly, there's just so many details here, and I'm just trying to think about them all here. So do let me know if you like this kind of video as well. I know I'm asking for a lot of feedback from you guys on this episode, but call it an episode, call it a video, whatever the heck you want. But there's just so much that could be happening in Season 22, and I'm really, really excited. I just hope they don't blow it, because there's all sorts of potentials for bad things to happen. So we've talked about almost every ability. The one deployable turret, like, I suppose it sort of falls in that same Resurrection Bomb, Super Warrior sort of category, except it sucks. It's like the worst possible option. So as usual, it's going to go like Crystal Critters and Explosive Drones at the absolute worst. And then my feeling is the deployable turret's going to come in right after those ones. I've saved what could potentially be the best for last, but in the past, we haven't had Dr. Vitamin. So the fact that Speed Serum is hopefully going to be in the tech tree is fantastic. but we just had Dr. Vitamin, so we've had lots and lots of experience with Speed Serum, and we haven't had to pay for it. So suddenly we go from free Speed Serum all the time to Speed Serum we have to use GBE to drop. So a little bit of a sad moment right about there. Anyways, that is all of the temporary gunboat abilities that we know of. I would love, again, I said this at the very beginning, but it would absolutely be over the top amazing if they use this opportunity to release a new temporary gunboat ability, sort of like they've done with every single new prototype. For a while there, they brought them out in the what's that thing called? In the warships first, but like I said, would not hold your breath. We'll call that hype and excitement, but not really likely to happen, because typically when they add the new things to the game, there's all sorts of leaks and stuff like that. So hey, if Supercell has managed to add a new temporary gunboat ability and there's been no leaks as my computer almost shuts down for some reason, that would be like double plus awesome. But with no updates in quite a while and no feedback in quite a while, I'm not going to hold my breath as that person's Doom Cannon just kind of picks away at our Scorchers on that side. So I have not been paying a ton of attention. We have been clearing my base without any thinking, clearing my map, I should say, and that's kind of what happens in between warships. You kind of grind some intel, you clear your map, it's not terribly difficult. So Supercell, listen up, bring something new in, make these daily events better, because when Warships isn't around, Mega Crab isn't around, all we're really doing as a max player is grinding out some intel for operations or pushing victory points, and pushing victory points is a whole different ball of wax that I'm not going to get into. So would really, really like Supercell to stop abandoning Boom Beach or not paying attention to Boom Beach or whatever the heck it is. Feels like we're like that forgotten child who they're not given any love to. Kind of went off the rails a little bit. We went from talking about updates to how we're not going to get updates and warships and all that sort of good stuff. So anyways, I'm going to take down Mr. Speed here. Then we're going to call it a day. Hopefully going to have a sneak peek for you for the Mega Crab soon. Also hopefully have a sneak peek for you for the warships soon. But that is just a whole lot of soon at this moment. Can't say whether there will be or won't be. Otherwise, as always, do consider throwing code ZMOT way over there into your creator boost. As you can see, I just put it in there. That's why I've got 29 days, 23 hours on my instant training. If you're looking for a task force, do let us know. We've got a whole bunch of spots. Not really a whole bunch, but some. We can probably squeeze you in if you're excited enough and looking to join a whole bunch of beast players. I'm going to quickly send my submarine off on the dive, and then I will send you guys back to the rest of the crap that is the internet. And hopefully you've enjoyed this or educated or can give me some feedback as to what the heck you're excited about for Warships or the Mega Crab. Anyways, as always, thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace!